and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to share another behind the scenes video with you, this time all about the making of my latest single, Autumn Leaves. Before we jump into things, if you enjoyed today's video, I would really appreciate it if you would consider giving this video a like and also subscribing to my channel. It really helps me out a lot. You can also download and stream Autumn Leaves on all major streaming and download platforms. I'll leave that information linked below. And if you're on social media, so am I. I'm on all the major platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So you can head on over and say hello to me there. I always love to be able to connect with you in different places. I first started learning Autumn Leaves for an in-person physical concert that I was planning to give in early 2020. Unfortunately, because of everything going on with the pandemic, that concert never ended up happening, but Autumn Leaves became a piece of music that was sort of tucked in the back of my repertoire. I didn't have any plans to record Autumn Leaves, however, and I was working on a different project and I had hit a little bit of a wall with that project. I decided to give myself a little bit of space and step back from that project for a little bit of time and pull out some of my old music and just sing through it for the fun of it. So I pulled out Autumn Leaves and I started singing through it, and it felt really natural and really comfortable. So I thought, why don't I try giving this a shot? Why don't I just try recording this and see what happens? And the result is what you hear. For the arranging process, I decided that from a vocal standpoint, I wanted to follow pretty closely Eva Cassidy's vocal arrangement of Autumn Leaves. She was a fabulous singer who created her own arrangements and recordings of so many of the great standard songs in the classic songbook. If you haven't heard her version of Autumn Leaves, you should definitely go check it out. I will leave it linked down below for you. But it was actually her arrangement of Autumn Leaves that made me fall in love with the piece of music in the first place and made me want to learn to sing it. And so I decided I wanted to stick pretty closely to her vocal arrangement. From a piano standpoint, I wanted to create an arrangement that was a bit more unique to me. When I was preparing to sing this for the in-person concert, I was using a different arrangement that followed a bit more closely Eva Cassidy's. When I decided I wanted to record it, then I went in and I created my own arrangement. The piano arranging process actually went quite quickly for me on this one, so unfortunately I don't really have any behind the scenes video to show of me working through this arranging, but I started out with just a standard lead sheet with the chord progressions in front of me, and I started messing around on the piano just to kind of see what came out, and I kind of came out with this very arpeggiated feel and with a little bit of like clashing and dissonance in it, and nothing that was moving too fast. I just kind of wanted like this slow, mellow, a little bit introspective feel, and that's what ended up coming out on the piano. While I did opt to follow Eva Cassidy's vocal arrangement quite closely, when it came to the delivery of those vocals and the performance of those vocals, I wanted to make it very much my own. I wanted to challenge myself to explore the softer side of my dynamic range and my expressive range. I come from a little bit of a musical theater live performance background where a lot of times you're thinking about projecting all the way to the back of the room. And for this, I wanted to be very soft and very quiet, and I did not want to have much loud sound at all, just very, very minimal amount of that really powerful vocal loud sound. The other thing that I wanted to do was have very minimal vibrato. I wanted to create a bit more of a cool, calm effect, a little bit of that cool fall effect. So by hardly using any vibrato, that really cooled the vocals down quite a bit. There is some vibrato interspersed throughout, but just like the very loud, powerful vocals, it's used very sparingly. For the recording process, I decided that I wanted to record the vocals and the piano simultaneously. The reason that I wanted to do this was I knew that I wanted to create a lot of push and pull within the expression and the tempo between both the piano and the voice. I wanted to have a lot of freedom freedom of expression within the vocals and then also within the piano, and then I wanted to have that freedom of expression, that interplay between the two parts. And I thought that if I recorded both of them separately, it wouldn't give quite that same kind of almost live performance effect of them playing off of each other quite in the same way. From a performance standpoint, recording both of them at the same time did give me a lot of freedom. From a post-production standpoint, in the editing process, this created more of a challenge because you do get a little bit of a sound bleed over between different microphones, and so you don't have quite as much of an isolated sound that's going on. The other thing that I decided I wanted to do was sing this through as a straight take. So what you hear on the recording is just one take from beginning to end on both the vocals and the piano with no edits in there whatsoever. Again, really wanted to kind of feel that organic live performance quality to it, and by singing it through in one complete take, I felt it gave a little bit more of that kind of organic feel. The video and the visuals for Autumn Leaves were very much inspired by the completed arrangement. When the recording was done, it was something that was very cool, a little bit more serious, a little more contemplative, introspective, maybe a little bit more haunting. And so I felt that a really bright, smiley campaign just wouldn't fit with the mood of the music. So that's why you see a little bit more of like that calm, almost bordering on stillness, maybe slightly moody visuals, still photography visuals that go with this. The video I actually had shot back in the spring in my studio space indoors. So the combination of those two things meant that there really was not any fall elements whatsoever in this video, aside from the outfit that I chose to wear, which was a bit more fall colors. So in an attempt to bring a bit more of a fall feel for this and transport the viewer outside of this small indoor space, I decided to intersperse some fall still life photography throughout the video. The still life photography that you see featured is that of my mom, Diane. She is a wonderful still life photographer, and also my own still life photography is featured in here as well. I really hope that you enjoyed this recording of Autumn Leaves, and that maybe it made you feel a little bit of that quiet, calm introspection that we kind of get around fall, when everything starts to get a little bit more still and a little bit more quiet. And I hope it maybe made you feel a little bit of those things. If you have any questions about Autumn Leaves, or you have any suggestions for things that you might like to see me include in future behind the scenes videos, please leave me a comment below. I love to read your comments and hear your feedback about projects. If you want to do a little bit of listening to my previous projects, you can find all the links for the single that was released just prior to this, Over the Rainbow, down below, along with the music video and the behind scenes video for that project. And thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I really appreciate it. And until next time.